Before the to-do list, before the phone, before the rush, this is for you. Let your body arrive before you ask anything of it. Let's get started. Good morning and welcome. So happy to see you here. Let's get started and let's wake up. So go ahead and bring ourselves onto the mat. Now come to a supine position. And I'd like you to have your legs organized in a parallel position. Your feet are in line with the sit mode. And then allow your arm to reach out to the side. Allowing your breath to come more alive. Allowing your body to settle a little bit more with each exhalation. Let's wake up the body from the inside. And with each breath you take here, let go the tension from yesterday. Invite a sense of togetherness, a sense of melting, a sense of softening the body onto the mat. Let the breath guide you. Let the breath wakes you up. Now inhaling. And the exhalation, bring your mind to your body. And then from here, let's open our arms out to the side. And I want you to just lower or drop the leg to one side. And then bring the back arm to trail the floor. Bring it over to the other side. And then bring the arm trail back like a rainbow on the floor. And return the legs back to center. The gravity will take the weight of the leg as you rotate. The arm will trail the floor and over to the other side and trail the floor back, opening the chest and allow the legs to return. The gravity will pull the leg as you reach the arm away. Create a sense of opening in the back. Effortless as you open the arm back and return to the center. And be one with the floor as you rotate and reach up and circle and reach up and opened. One more set. With each movement, we wake the body. We create openness. We create readiness. And come to center. Last one over to the other side. And an inhalation. As we take the arm over and then back on the exhalation and come back to center. Return the arm by the side of the body here. And then let's bring our focus on the space in front of the belly. Now on the exhalation, can we draw that space deep and pull it down towards the floor? Pull the space of the front to the back. Allow the space of the front to melt the back down. And as you melt, keep the space on the floor as you take the arm overhead. And then bring the arm back and release the space on the floor and create a bit of a gap underneath the floor. And again, bringing the front to melt. As you pull down, you scoop down, you deflate down, create openness in the back of the spine, and then allow the arms to reach overhead. And then bring the arm back and release the pelvis. Again, two more. And drawing down to the floor. Bringing the front towards the back. And keep the back on the mat and taking the arm overhead effortlessly. And then bring the arm back and release. Recognize any restriction that you may have and work with that restriction by breathing a little deeper, by surrendering a little bit more. And then bring the arm back and release. Now from here, again, drawing back and then create a little bit more pull of the abdominal so that your pelvis is now floating a little higher off the floor. Now with that intention of floating, lift the pelvis up, bringing the pelvis to the highest point, bringing the intention of the back of the leg to stay active, to be more active, to be more awake, bringing the intention of the back to be more awake, to come to life. And then as you exhale, let go. Allow the front to soften the back to the floor. And then come back to start position. And again, as you exhale, a sense of deflation of the front to the back and the pelvis to float, and allow the float to happen a little bit more off the floor. Allow the back of the leg to come alive. Wake up. Allow the back to wake up. Allow the inner legs to wake up. Allow the abdominal to wake up. And then as you exhale, surrender the back. Melt the spine bone by bone. And release. There is no resistance. Things that hold you back. Allow the movement to happen. To wake the body, allow the breath to guide the movement, waking up the back waking up the leg muscle, waking up the abdominal muscle. Now hold that intention of the legs and the back, and float the arms overhead, and float the arms back to the floor. One more. Float the arms overhead. Float the arms back to the floor. And float the arms overhead. Hold that there. And then exhale. I want you to soften the back to the floor. Roll it down. Softening, and keep the intention of the legs. And then release the pelvis back. And then bringing the right leg to your chest. Hug the thighs. Lengthening the other leg down on the floor. Allow the left hip to open. Allow the lower back to surrender with each breath. And then with next breath out, soften the upper abdominal. Allow the ribs to flex down and float the head off the floor. Float the upper back, middle back off the floor. Feeling the elongation starting to happen in the back. Recognizing any restriction and allowing the breath to open the pathway of lengthening. Breathing in and then breathing out. As we lower the body down, we release the leg and then bring and fold the other leg to you. Reaching the leg out, and then with each breath out, you're softening the back to the floor. With each inhalation, we create space in the hip. We create freedom in the joint. And with the next exhalation, deflating, sinking the upper abdomen, allow the ribs to come to the floor and float the upper middle back. The arms there to help you, assist you. With each breath, you create openness in the spine. You create lengthening with the floor. You allow the floor to be a safe ground for you to rely on. You allow the arm to be a safe support for your back to open. And then release the chest, release the leg, and then bring the other leg in. And then interlacing the hands behind your head, behind your neck. Cradle the base of your head in your hands. Allow the elbows and the shoulders to open wide. Invite freedom in the shoulders. And as you exhale here, head is heavy, ribs is heavy. And with that heaviness, the upper abdominal deflate down and float and flex the upper spine. Opening through the chest on the inhalation and exhalation, come down. And an exhalation, heaviness, folding, lifting, surrendering the head, finding a deeper connection with the center as the center melt the lower back to the floor and coming down. Again, exhalation, heaviness, folding, surrendering the upper abdominal down to the floor. Inhaling, can we reach the arm forward and use the arm as a little leverage to come a little higher, to allow the upper spine to fold a little bit more. Release the tension in the upper shoulder and the neck if you have one. Can we deepen the fold? Can we allow the abs to melt into the back? Allow the back to widen on the floor. And then come right back down. Release. Now from here, floating one leg up to the tabletop. Allow the weight of the legs to surrender into your center and into the ground. Now with that sense of surrendering, we support the back, we support the floor, or allow the floor to support you, and float the other leg up effortlessly. And allow the weight of the legs now to be one with the floor, to melt on the floor. And then we extend the right leg. Weight of the leg is still heavy on your back, and float. And then extend the other leg. The weight of your leg now is now sinking and allowing the back to come down to the floor and folding. And exhalation, extend. Exhalation as you draw the abdominal, let it be one with the floor. Can we make this effort of extending the leg? Be grounded on your lower spine. Feel the heaviness of the front resting on the back. One more each side. One last one. Add extending and softening in your lower back. Lower one leg down and lower the second leg down. And then go ahead and rotate your body to me. Stack those legs together. Palm up underneath arm. Top hand here. And lift and wake this underneath side up enough to support your spine. And then from here, as you exhale, a sense of melting or pulling of this abdominal muscle to then levitate, float the leg up and lower. And again, a pull of this upper oblique muscle to the rib cage will lift, levitate, and float the leg. And as we exhale, we sink this up, we melt it to the floor, we melt the bottom to the floor, we reach the leg out. Can you invite a sense of lightness in the leg as you bring the legs up? And in a sense of togetherness of the front of the belly towards the back. So we're working together as a team. And one more. And I want you to hold this lift. Can we feel the support of the legs in the center? Can we find a little bit more space for the spine to grow long? Can we find more support of the floor, the underneath side, for the waist to relax? Not relax, to the waist to reach down. And then release down. All right, coming up, let's go over to the other side. Same thing again, organize the legs, organize the arm, and organize your center. And then on the exhalation, a sense of coming, bringing the front to the back, bringing the top to the bottom and lightness in the leg to lift and up. We kind of want the legs to levitate effortlessly as we allow this part of the body to pull back and return. And again, use your breath as a pathway to seek connection, to seek stability. And again, we go one more time. Lightness in the leg, support in the center. Now we hold that. Use your breath or allow your breath to come a little deeper in the center. Allow the leg to lengthen up a little bit more as the spine grows. Find pathway to seek deeper stability, deeper connection, and release back. All right, come onto your front. Bring your right hand on top of the left hand. Stack them up. Allow the legs to be together. And from here, allow your right hand to stay with your forehead. Allow the scapula to drape down into the middle back and allow the abdominal to lift away from the floor to support your back. And here, as you inhale, I want you to think about floating lightly up. Bring the back up and bring the opposite leg off. And return. So we're lifting the right arm, we're lifting the back, we're reaching the left leg, we lift up as far as you can. And lower. Inhaling, neck is long, head is long, back is draping down, leg is reaching back. And down. One more. Inhaling, creating length, creating stability, creating freedom in the hip and in the back. And we switch arm. Left hand on top of the right. Activate the right leg and then we go inhaling as we float and reach. Exhaling. And again, inhaling. Nothing is restricting. You are back to come into extension in the shoulder. Allow the crown of the head and the foot to reach an opposite direction, like a boomerang. And again, inhaling. How long can you make the spine be? How open can you make the front of the hip be? And lower. One more. Inhaling, reaching, lifting, lengthening, opening, and lower. Release the arm by the side of the shoulder. Push the floor away with the forearm and then pull the front to the back and send the pelvis to your heels. Rest for a moment and then bring your spine back into a kneeling position. And then we're just going to finish with something I think is quite delicious. So organize the shoulder wide, organize the pelvis wide, arms vertical, thigh vertical. And then from here, reach the arm forward 1, reach the arm forward 2, and then sending the pelvis back. Allow the body, allow the shoulder, allow the head to come to the floor. A quality of suction or stickiness in the hand as you lengthen and drive the pelvis back as much as you can. The inhalation expands the space in the back, and then the exhalation, we bring the front of the body towards the back, allowing the tail to roll underneath you as much as you can. Acknowledging any sensation you have in your back, in your sacrum, in your hip. One more breath in. And I'm breathing out and continue the tail to curl. And it will slide your arm with you as your pelvis comes down towards the heel And then continuing the motion to roll the spine up, to come up to a sitting upright position, and continue the motion of arching openness of the chest to the sky. Open heart and come back up. You're all set for the day. I'll see you on the next session on the mat. Have the best day ever.